Classic has a very long run to the first turn, so if someone gets caught wide, it'll be because of rider decisions, not post position. So, going into last year, Bill Mott had a terrible record in California Breeders' Cups. We handicapped accordingly, and the man made me look like an idiot. He got negative numbers out of Cody's Wish and Elite Power, and just FYI, and two of his three others paired their tops. And this matters because Arthur's Ride jumped to a gigantic figure, winning an allowance on Belmont weekend, and with 2 months rest went back a little and still won the Whitney. This was an 0-2, and after two big efforts and only 1 month's rest, he ran the X at odds-on in the Gold Cup. So what we have is a classic 0-2X in the Classic. 0-2X is often a good betting pattern, especially with decent time after the X, and Mott smartly has given the colt 2 months rest. On his best, Arthur is the fastest horse in this year's Breeders' Cup, and the off race last time will help the price. Our enthusiasm will depend in part on how the other Motts have run, but if this one runs even close to his best, it would give him a very big shot. City of Troy is a very good grass 3-year-old, full stop. If you have noticed the overhyped Euros are always 3-year-olds, it's because the scale of weights over there is different and in their favor. Not surprisingly, O'Brien hasn't done as well in dirt races, and this one would need to improve greatly on this surface just to contend, which is highly unlikely. The connections are just taking a shot with no downside, and we are happy the City of Troy will take money here. Dermot Sotogake was a good 3-year-old, but he would need to improve to be relevant here, and his return was not great. We've made the point already that Pletcher's runners have not performed well in these dirt races. Well, one horse that hasn't applied to his fierceness. When he made this trip last year, he not only ran his best race of the year, but one of the best ever by a 2-year-old. This colt gets almost a point in weight for the older horses, and in simplest terms, 3 of his last 4 would make him a very strong contender here, with the other being the Derby debacle, where he was coming off a huge effort and got hung up in a hot pace. With plenty of rest into this, fierceness is a strong contender. Forever Young got very good early this summer, running 3 big ones. But good figures for an early 3-year-old are well short of what's required against these. Unless this horse has developed to the point where he's at least 3 points faster, he's not relevant. Highland Falls got to a good one last November as a 3-year-old, but it took him 9 months to finally break through that level last time, which is not good. He'll probably bounce, but even if he runs that well again, it would only make him a fringe player. Newgate was always a decent horse, but he came off a layoff recently with a new top, fast enough to make him relevant here. This one is California-based and doesn't have to bounce, though he will have to work out a trip. Next got dramatically better after Cowens got hold of him as a 4-year-old and put him on dirt. Even better last year and turned into a monster this summer. We don't think the cutback to 1.25 miles is an issue, but terrific trainer that Cowens may be, shipping cross country is new to him. He's never started a horse at Delmar. Sierra Leone is extremely consistent, and with a couple of months' rest, could be ready for a new top, Chad Brown's record in these races notwithstanding. But this colt will need a pretty big jump to be relevant, and will face trip issues coming from far back in a big field with a short stretch. Tapit Trice looked like he was heading someplace good as a 3-year-old before going wrong. He made a new top off the layoff, as horses with issues often do, but hasn't run back to that level since. Even on his best, this one would only be borderline. Ushba Tesoro has the best figures of the Japanese horses, but all those came in the Middle East in winter. Even if he's still that good at age 7, and even if he fires, he'll have lots of traffic to deal with coming from far back. The bottom line in the Classic is that City of Troy is another favorite we are very happy to bet against, though this one probably won't be bet as heavily in the exotics. Arthur's Ride and Fierceness are the main contenders, and both have enough speed to avoid traffic. The other two we will consider using are Newgate and Next.